All right, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to you, my fellow students of CP104, especially to you, Ma'am Claire. By the way, I am Melmar E. Tumanda, and before I begin with my discussion, let me ask you a question. What keeps you motivated in school? Is it your crush? Baon ba? Or mga barkada mo? Mga barkada mo na ang kukulit? Whatever your answer is, please comment down below. I'm very curious. And yes, related to motivation, our topic for today is all about the environmental factors affecting motivation. Yes. For example, motivation mo si crush. Now, crush is sitting on somewhere you don't like kasi sabihin natin mabaho. Now, that affects your motivation. No, hindi ko pa rin makakasitmit si crush kasi doon siya, gusto niyang kumpo doon na napakabaho naman. So, somehow like that. Anyway, we are talking about the things that affects our motivation in school. Now, by the way, the flow of our topic or our discussion will start at our objectives. So, I will tell you the expected learning outcomes, and second, introduction. So, I'm going to tell you what is the meaning of environmental factors, and then followed by discussion, of course. So, we will discuss the environmental factors and how it affects motivation. And last one, our ending is quiz. Yes, we're going to have our 10-item quiz. And yes, let's begin. Objectives. So at the end of this lesson, you guys should be able to identify environmental factors. Ano ba mga environmental factors? Number 2, understand how environmental factors affects one's motivation. Number 3, specify the role of teachers and parents. So, may gagampanan pala yung si teacher at saka si parent. Anyway, without further ado, what is environmental factors? Now, if the environment is defined as the sum total of our surroundings, then environmental factors is something that affects student motivations. And that includes 2, human and non-human factors. Now, non-human factors, those are not human. For example, the environment, the surroundings. They are not human. They are just place. Now, when we say human, those are people that surrounded the learners, and that is the teacher, other students, which are the classmates, and also the parents. The parents are always involved to the student. Now we already know what is environmental factors. Okay, we have 2. Human environmental factors and physical learning environment. Again, human environmental factors and physical learning environment. Now, how did affect? Now, let's discuss how these human environmental factors affect the motivation. Well, let's begin with the teacher itself. Now, they say teacher's affective trait suggests that management ng teacher tapos mga instructional process are the key to learning para makaintindi yung estudyante. But no, according to studies, it's the affective characteristics more than pedagogical practices. When I say pedagogical practices, it's the way you the way you manage your students, or how are you going to, maybe you're going to implement rules, punishment, rewards, unable to control them, or you might going to use differentiated instruction, and able to get the specific or the what do you call this, the capability, or let the students learn according to their capability. No, it's not all about those things. It's all about the characteristic of a teacher. Now, it's the characteristic of a teacher what makes the student learn. Yes. Kasi, okay, here are the effective characteristics of effective teachers. Imagine, your teacher is caring. Caring si teacher. Sasabihin mo, Ma'am, I'm not feeling well. Katulugon ko. That's a caring teacher. Inaantok ka? Bakit hindi ka ba natulog? Have you slept, did you sleep last night? Ano, ma'am? Okay. You can go to the, you can take a nap a little bit and come back to our class, okay? A teacher like that, saan kayo makakita ng teacher na gano'n? No? Next, fairness and respect. A teacher who are fair to his or her student. No? Di porket mayaman tong isang estudyante, mayaman ang pamilya nito, itong papaboran mo. No. You have to be fair with your student, rich or poor. No? And next, social interaction. Now, if the teacher, an effective teacher always have this characteristic, always interact with his or her student. Now, you know what? I'm going to share to you guys. Are you like me na always hesitant to greet a teacher? Hindi mo magawang good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. So you have this hesitant eh. You have this fear to be neglect again, to be disregard again. And that is because it's not our fault. It's not our fault, I think. I think it's one of the teacher's fault. I mean, it's because of that human environmental factor that teacher is herself or himself are the factors that we are not motivated enough, because motivated to greet her or to greet him because he himself is not approachable. No? So, ladies and gentlemen, future educators, you always prioritize interaction. You have to get the heart of a student, even in a simple greeting. Greet back. Good morning, ma'am. Oy, good morning, Inday. Oy, good morning, Dong. Because in that way, the student, you can light up your student's day. Oy, si ma'am, pinansin ako ni ma'am. Friend me ni ma'am. Ganun. Hindi yung, good morning, ma'am. Snub lang. Alam mo, feel ng student. Ma-hurt yung student. Like, ay, may galit pa si ma'am sa akin? Ayaw ba ni ma'am sa akin? Ma'am, sabihin sa mama niya, ma, hindi na ako mag-school. Parang ayaw ni ma'am sa akin. So, ganun ba? So, okay, again, social interaction has a great impact with your relationship towards your student. And yes, if you interact with them, then there's a high possibility that you can have great quality relationship with your student. Ganun lang yun, mga teachers. Next, enthusiasm and motivation for learning. Now, okay, example, you teach Filipino or Arapan or math. No, most commonly students and reaction is like, boring na subject eh, ayaw ko makinig eh, matulog na lang ako there, makikipag-usap na lang ako, ganun. Now, as a teacher, you should have this enthusiasm to make your student participate. Yes, to make them participate, especially those lower grades. They have this lower, like, short attention span towards you. Yes. So you have your enthusiasm, your energy should be at the highest peak. Hindi ka dapat mauubusan kasi how can they get motivated, diba? It should start with yourself as a teacher. Motivated to teach so that they are motivated to learn from you. So, yes, that is one of the characteristics of effective teachers. Moreover, we also have attitude toward the teaching profession. So, parang konektado din, no? Your attitude toward teaching. Are you that kind of teacher na basta makasweldo lang, fights na? Or are you that kind of teacher who are more focused on the modeling of a student's mind? Are you that kind of teacher na, oh, magsulat kayo dyan, page 1 to page 20. Ang hindi makatapos ng sulat, hindi makakauwi. Tapos, dawat ng kuha ng sweldo. So yes, one of the characteristics of an effective teacher is the attitude toward teaching profession. Are you dedicated to that kind of profession? Because if you're not, then it will surely affect your students' performance, your students' motivations. Next, reflective practice. So you, as an effective teacher, you always have to reflect. Tama ba yung ginagawa ko? Tama ba yung pagtuturo ko? Yes. You always have to reflect. Now imagine, if your teacher is not caring, not fair, snobber, boring, or not dedicated with his or her profession, that will surely affect the child's or the student's motivation. Again and again, human environmental factors has always this effect towards the student, especially you as a teacher. Now, let's move on with that. Let's continue with this, the need to belong. Everybody read, the need to belong. Now, this kind of feeling is a basic human need. For example, I'm a Christian, right? I'm from Pagadian City, and I manage myself to enter MSU, Mindanao State University of Marawi City, which is an Islamic area. Now, I always have this feeling that need to belong, because so far I'm always out of place. Out of place. Number one, the language. I cannot speak with their language, so I am not belong with them, right? Or number two, they are Muslims. I cannot relate to them. We have different beliefs. So in my mind, I usually before nung bago pa ako sa MSU, I always had this mind na maghanap na lang ako ng mga Christian na para makakaintindi sa akin. Ganun. You get the point? I always have the urge, during that time, I always had the urge to belong with a group that can understand me, that can relate with me. Because, again, that is basic human need. Same as with our young learners. They need to feel belong. Kasi kung out of place sila, it will really affect their motivation. Again, students who are accepted by teachers and classmates feel they belong to the class. Students who feel that they are part of the class look forward attending the participating. No? Example, usually, anong nangyayari sa traditional classroom, yung napapansin ng ma'am is yung mga sumasagot lang. Yung mga teacher lang. It's like teachers just focusing, molding those students who are already capable of molding themselves by themselves. And those mga low achiever, napapabayaan. Kasi hindi. Baka siradong bibig eh. So as a teacher, inclusivity. Yung included dapat lahat. No one should be left behind. Again, sense of belongingness enhances their learning and performance. Di porket mahina sila wag na isali yan, hindi naman yan makakasagot, bobo naman yan. No. You always have to make them feel they belong with us. They belong to this class. They have this capability. And as a teacher, it's your job to bring that out. So yes, madami na akong sinabi sa the need to belong. Another human environmental factors are bullying. Of course, hindi ito mawawala, especially elementary students. I am a victim of bullying. Who else? In my case, I'm always bullied because of my physical appearance. I am very chubby. Char. I'm fat. Yes, I'm fat. I have this big body and a flat nose, which makes me look like a pig. And at first, I wasn't really, I really can't handle that bullying. When they say baboy, 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 I begin to self-pity myself. Self-pity myself. Self-pity. Yun, mangyayari yun. And I don't want to hear it. So, I make excuses. You know, especially when I get near to a group of students always bullying me, I'd be like, twing, get out of their way. When I see they're in the classroom, I'll be like, I'm not feeling good with this one. Okay? Especially pag nafe-feel ko na, oy, pipintasin na naman ako nito. Alis ako sa room. Turns out, cutting class. So, I don't have the motivation to go to school because there are people who are always picking me up. Baboy, baboy, pig. Ano ba? Lawas. Yes, ugly. So again, bullying obstructs the creation of a learning community. They feel, again, like they don't feel belong. They're always the outcasts. The learning environment cannot be safe. It is not safe for them. Why? It affects here. It affects their mentality. Take it from me as a bully victim. For years, from grade 1 to grade 12, and even until now as a college, third year college, I somehow get that. But sa college, medyo medyo hindi ko na minamind kasi I am somehow improving my self-confidence, also with the help of people, lovely people who build my confidence. And yes, again, by all means, bullying should be eliminated in schools. No? As a teacher, always do not tolerate bullies. Okay? Pag ma-hear ko yung bullies, wag mo namang saktan, no, yung bully. They also need care. Proper care. You should handle them well. Kasi pag i-push mo yung nila, sasagad mo nila na, oh, that's bad, you're very bad, you're a piece of ganon. Wag ganon. Kasi natitrigger lang din, baka lumala pa. So handle the bully victim and handle the bullies. Meron naman yung tayong mga seminar dyan, no? How to handle bullies, especially mga young students. Hindi pa nila alam medyo sila medyo ganyan din So yes, again, bullying can be mild, like oy, ganyan, bully, tambok lagi ka ay ganon. Pero sa feeling ng victim bully niyan, parang nilalait na siya. Or it could be intense or deeply seated and highly violent. So, dyan na mapupunta yung suntukan, binibidyohan, humiliate, kumbaga. So, yes, that is bullying. We still have another part. I have here a video that you should watch. And tell me what you think. Tell me what's the message of this video. As you can see, there's a father who ruined his output. Wait a minute. So, yes, ay nakita nyo na yung PPT. Anyway, so at first, no, nakita nyo na yung father niya hindi gaano supportive sa kanyang output because he's not doing his job. But right after that, the father did something like a reward. Pag gagawin niya to, ibibigay niya tong PlayStation at Chushu. So, the point here is, parents are always involved in learning with our students. Now, we call this parent support. Now, what is parent support? Number one, how do parents support? Number one, follow up status of their children's performance. So, it could be talking with their teacher, ma'am, kumusta yung anak ko, ganun, chu. Next, it could be supervising their homework. Now, pag may homework yung anak nila, they can help them, or just guide them with their assignments. Number three, check their notebooks. So, yan. Have you tried a notebook before na merong nakalagay dun sa baba na parent signature, chu. So, yes, most commonly, it happens in lower grades or elementary grades. So, chine-check din yung notebook nila and able to know if their students are jotting down notes during the discussion of their teacher. Next, review their corrected papers. So, when we say corrected papers, it could be the sit works, like quizzes, or test papers, ganun. So, doon din monitor ng mga parents ang mga anak nila. Next is attend conference. So, PTA meeting, ganun. Parent Teachers Association. So, doon na bibigay ng na-ask ng mga parents yung mga concern nila about their children, and then yung teacher din mag-report kung anong performance ng kanilang anak sa klase. Next, get involved in school activities. So, example niyan is family activity. So, ayun. I've never experienced that before, but yes, there is family activities in school. Next, participate actively in school community projects. So, iba din to, community projects. It could be tree planting, whatever. Next, be aware of their children's teachers when necessary. So, again, be aware of their children's teachers. So, example nito, pag may magsumbong yung anak nila na ganito si teacher, ganito, ganyan, you should always be aware of that. You could always confront the teacher na, ma'am, ano tong sinasabi ng anak ko na ganyan. So, that's an example of parent support. Next, meet the friends of their children. Okay, ito. Meet the friends of their children. Hindi pa naman ako parent, pero most commonly, nakikita natin sa mga parents natin na they're very keen, they're very, pumipili ba kung anong circle of friends where their children belong with, na kung mabuti ba or mga basagulero ba. No, they are very kulado sa tawag yan. And yes, but as a parent, you should always be open-minded of their group of friends, a circle of friends. And next, you could always invite their children's friends to home. So, wag mo masyadong pagbabawal. Kasi, kung hindi mo, if you wouldn't try this one, most commonly yung nangyayari, yung mga anak nila mismo magpupunta doon, laag doon. So, yeah, try that, and maybe it could improve your your children performance in school. No, showing your support as a parent. So, ang dami ko nang sinabi sa parent support. Let's move on to, what is this? Okay, the physical learning environment. So, a conducive physical learning environment. By the way, this is the last one, no? Environmental factors that could affect the motivation of our students. Now, number one, allows maximum interactions between teachers and students. So, the environment or the classroom mismo, it should allows maximum interaction between teachers and students. Next, allow students movement without necessary distraction. So, this this is where the arrangement of our furnitures or the chairs, the tables of our students, lalagyan natin. It should be there should be um, what do you call this? There should be um, a space that they can move around freely. Hindi yung masyadong, ano ba tawag nito? Masyadong maliit yung daan. So, they cannot move. And next, allows the teachers to survey the whole class. So, yes, the teacher should always survey the whole class. Next, safe, clean, and orderly. Now, when we say safe, hindi lang sinasabi natin yung pag may mga massacre. Di ba? Uso yun sa ano eh. Sa Amerika, meron tinatawag na like, I think this happened last year lang. May pumasok sa classroom nila. Pinagbabaril yung mga estudyante. Anong tawag nito? Gun. Shoot. Parang ganon. Yes, it's not just about that. I mean, I'm not just disregarding that kind of safety, no? But dito sa Pilipinas, wala namang ganun. Wala namang gago na pumapatay ng mga estudyante. Thank God. But another term of the safety is, example, putting sharp things in your classroom. Now, you shouldn't especially sa mga young or mga lower grades, you should be careful with that thing, because what if, for example, may glass ka dyan na basag, tapos they will run over it. It's not really safe for them to be around with it. Next, clean. Okay, the CR should always be clean. Number one yan. The CR should always be clean. The floor, their tables, their chairs, because that is to avoid disease. And next, orderly. Again, the arrangement of everything inside the classroom is very, very important. Kasi that will when we are order with our things, when there is proper order with our things, then it will avoid any accidents, no? Or any uncomfortable environment feeling. So, yes. Next, let's move on to well-ventilated, spacious, and adequately lighted. Okay. Ito ang number one concern ko. Kasi when I was elementary, I swear to God, parang hindi ako makahinga. Bakit? Yung window, like parang window siya, but it's just grills. It's just steels. But ang ginawa ni teacher before is tinakpan niya ng kung ano-ano. Like, dinasplay niya yun yung mga illustration board doon. And it turns out, walang proper ventilation of air. Diba? So, ang nangyari, napakainit ng classroom, napakabaho ng classroom, especially pag lunchtime. Kasi yung mga boys namin, ang amoy araw, anong tawag dito? Basta amoy araw, ewan ba, tapos walang proper ventilation, Diyos ko doon. Tapos yung mga window pa namin, giba-giba pa, yung iba nasisirado, hindi na open, ganun. So, again, teachers, ventilated classroom is very important, no? Kasi para there is fresh air. Pag fresh air, fresh din yung utak ng estudyante. Ganun lang yon. Next, spacious. So, paulit-ulit natin sinasabi, do not put unnecessary furnitures inside your classroom. I will tell you, do not put refrigerator inside your classroom. It's not necessary. Do not put tables in your classroom. It's not necessary. The more spacious, the more anong tawag nito? much better. Much better kasi nakakapag-move yung whole class. Next, adequately lighted. Okay. So, tayong mga public school, no? Sanay na tayong punder-punder ng yung mga punder na yung mga light bulbs natin. But again, physical learning environment, it is very important that there should be enough light for them to see what they write, see their surroundings, and see what's on the board. At saka makita yung kagandahan ni Ma'am Charot. Next, makes possible rearrangement of chairs as the need arises. So, again, paulit-ulit na, arrangement of chairs. So, furniture, so on and so forth. That is physical learning environmental. Okay, thank God we're done. We have our quiz. This is very simple. This is equivalent to 10 points. Why do environmental factors affect motivation? So based on our previous discussion, I think you can answer this one. Why do environmental factors affect motivation? So that's it. This has been Melmar Tumanda. Thank you for listening, and don't forget to send your answers right away because this is the last day of our what you call this. Basta last of sa deadline na ngayon. So thank you everyone. Bye bye. Love you.